Trading mistake number 4, not charging enough. And not charging enough is an easy mistake to make. It's a very common mistake. I see a lot of people come to me frustrated that they're not making what they think and they're not charging enough. It's easy to make, and it's particularly easy to make when you're new and you're small and you don't have any costs. You know, it doesn't really hurt you to charge a bit less. And it can feel like an easy way to get business. It's easy, or it feels easy, to be inexpensive and win work, and it feels like you're doing a nice thing for people, and it feels like you're being fair and all that kind of stuff, right? It's kind of emotionally easy. It's the wrong thing to do, and it's unnecessary, right? People are responsive to price, but they're not as responsive as you think, and it's kind of, you don't need to do that, but most people do it. However, if you're going to grow and scale a bit, and I don't mean to like massive, you know, I just mean to big enough so that you move beyond having to work for every dollar, so you've got some scale and some leverage, you've got people working for you, maybe 5 or maybe 10, that kind of thing, so you can take holidays, so you can put systems in place, so you can have people doing the stuff, and you're not quite so required, right? A nice business, one that serves you. If you want to do that, if you want to grow and scale, you're going to incur some more costs. You're going to incur, they call them overheads, right? You're going to incur, you're going to need admin people, you're going to need more vehicles, you're going to need proper insurances, you're going to need proper safety procedures, and they're going to cost you time and training time and money. You're going to need to train people properly and spend time on that when you can't charge for them, but you have to pay them. You're going to have an office or a shed or both. You might need a business coach, that's very important. You might need proper financial support from an accountant or somebody who helps you understand your numbers and your margins and things. I'm one of those people, but I usually get you to have a proper bookkeeper who can give you that proper support. You might spend money on marketing, right? And the list can go on and on. So as you grow, you're going to spend money on these things, and what you used to charge when you were small and you didn't have those costs won't be enough, right? And if you try to grow without charging more, you'll kind of get stuck. People get stuck, right? You'll either try to grow without taking on those extra costs I was just talking about, which means either that you have to do all the work yourself, or in the case of safety and the like, you take on loads of risk for yourself and for your staff that you shouldn't, right? And you could have a nasty fall. I'll talk more about safety another day, right? What means is, if you don't take on that extra cost, you either do the work extra, you work at night doing your admin and your bookkeeping and that kind of thing, or you take risks with things like insurance or things like safety. It doesn't really work for you. It's not sustainable, certainly. You'll grow a bit, then you'll be pissed off because you're working too hard, and although you're growing, you're not really making the money, or you're working really hard, so it feels like you're not making much money. And here's a challenge for you. I want you to calculate your hourly rate that you get from your business. I hope it's not too confronting. Right, here's how to calculate it. Your total income from your business for the year. If you do it for the last financial year, you can see your profit. Take the salary you paid yourself if you paid one. If you didn't, it's 0. And you just take the profit that you declared at the end of the year. Add back in any of the bullshit that you told the tax man. You know, you might pay your partner, even though they don't work in the business. And that's a tax. That's an allowable tax efficient way to divide your income. But add that back in, so you're understanding what you actually pay yourself, and then work out how many hours a week you actually work on your business or in your business. On the tools, on the books, doing quotes, doing invoicing, all that kind of stuff. Include the work you do at night while the telly's on, and include the time you spend on work at the weekends. And then divide the two. Right? If you work 100 hours a week, that's an awful lot. You know, do you work that for 52 weeks a year, or is it 48? Do you have any holidays? Take out your holidays. Okay? The total number of hours you work in a year, divide the income by the number of hours, and there's your hourly rate. It's a simple calculation, and for most people, it's a bit confronting because you make a lot less than you think. It's certainly a lot less than the hourly rate you charge people because of all those hours that you work and you're not charging anybody, right? So, what's my point? Apart from pointing out that you make rather less than you might feel, and that working all those extra hours means you're actually not getting paid very well for your time, often. My point is that it's easy to get stuck, and you partly get stuck because you need the income, the minimum, the actual income that you make, because you need it for the mortgage and everything. But also, if your hourly rate is low, Maybe that's because you're not charging enough, and maybe if you charged more, that would be a good and a realistic way of breaking this kind of stuckness that you've got. If you charge more, there might be money to pay someone else to do some of that work that you do in the evenings. You need to charge enough in your business so that you cover your overheads and you cover what you pay your tradespeople, like their true costs, and you should be paying yourself a fair salary for the work that you do at an hourly rate a little bit more than what you have to pay your tradespeople, and you should make a profit on top of that. Okay? You should. You take risk in business. You wear stress in business. You should be paid a salary for your work, and you should be making profit, okay? That's fair and reasonable, and you deserve it. Don't worry about being more expensive than the little guys. People care less about price than you think, and I've said that a million times. But also some people want cheap and will hire the little guys, and some people will pay a bit more for someone who provides a bit more, who has admin people answering the phone, who has insurances and does their safety and looks better and is punctual and all those things that come with being more structured and organised. All those things that I'll help you do if you hire me as your coach, of course. Here are 2 mistakes I've seen people make with regard to charging. One guy who I'm coaching now was charging $45 an hour. Now that's probably only £30 an hour in the UK, guys. So we worked out that his tradespeople who he hired were probably costing him that, or possibly even a little bit more. So he was subsidising the people that he was paying to do the work by working on the tools himself, and he was taking home less than he would have been taking home had he just been on the tools himself on his own, right? And that was a problem caused by him not charging enough. Now on the positive side, he's now charging $65 an hour, and he's winning quotes, and it's going okay, right? He's not having a backlash, he's not suffering from this. And I say this not to say that he's an idiot, because he's not. He's an intelligent, capable person. He fell into the trap that it's easy for us all to fall into. And I'm trying to caution you to not fall into it today. It's you that pays the price for that. Oh, hang on. Second mistake, sorry, my notes. Second mistake is charging less for people like your apprentices, because they're a bit shit and they don't know anything and they're not so effective. But don't do that. Your customer doesn't need to know that you've charged less for your apprentice, and you're the one paying the price for your apprentice being slow and needing more supervision, because you're the one having to pay somebody else, or even supervising them yourself and doing all the training and paying them when they're at TAFE and all that stuff, not your client. So charge a single hourly rate for all your workers, and don't let your customers worry about whether these guys are more experienced than those guys. Don't do that. Okay, helping you charge properly and appropriately is an important part of my job. Obviously, my role as a business coach. I'm here to help you grow and scale and turn your business into that one that serves you, right? That gives you the time off, that gives you the low stress, that gives you the freedom to take time away and have holidays and all those things, and that still runs without you. If you're undercharging, you're going to reduce your chances of building that lovely business. And the first thing we'll do, or one thing we'll do, if you hire me as your coach, is look at whether charging more is one of the levers we can pull. If you're undercharging, or if your hourly rate was disappointing, maybe you should get in touch. Maybe we can look at that together. You can book a 10-minute chat. I've told you before how easy they are. You just go online, click the link, book a time. We'll have 10 minutes. I'll ask you a few questions, whether you can afford coaching, whether you're coachable, whether there's an opportunity in your business for me to make a difference. I'll tell you a bit about how I work, and if we like each other, we'll have a strategy session before you have to decide whether you do coaching or not. If that's too much for you, not ready for that yet, look at the next Tools Down workshop. That's 2 days of how to structure and scale your business. And if you're not ready for that, join the Facebook group, the Tradies Business Toolshed, or subscribe and get these emails in your inbox every Tuesday. See you later.